everyone, and welcome to a new episode of the Linnea Sailing YouTube channel. I'm Emmy, if you haven't followed us before, and together with my partner Marcus, we have been cruising on board here on our beautiful Linnea since the beginning of 2022. And right now we are anchored in front of the Atlantis resort here in Nassau, Bahamas, because we have a very important mission here. We have a US visa appointment interview in a couple of days, because our dream is to sail the US East Coast up to Canada, and then Greenland, Iceland, back home to Sweden this season. And to do that we need a US visa, but we have a few things to fix before the appointment. So if you're interested in seeing this process, just come on and let's jump in the dinghy.
So our first mission to get this visa thing done is to get a spot for the dinghy. Yeah, hopefully you can get one. So after some back and forth with the dinghy, we managed to find a spot where we could leave it. They charge you 20 bucks though. I thought that was a bit much, but yeah, they said they like watch your dinghy, so it's secure here. So we take it this time and see if we can find a cheaper place, or if we just, yeah, take the $20 each day if we go ashore, or what to do. Now we're on our way to get some prints that we need for the interview. Yesterday Emmy found a place where we could do some prints and copies of the documents and stuff we need for the interview. So she found a place, what was the name? Mr. Ship It?
Yes. Hopefully we can do some prints there.
Hopefully we can do some prints there. So we are scouting through the Google Maps to find where to go. Yes. We're a bit, after being around small islands more or less 2-3 months or more, coming to this big city, walking a lot with a lot of traffic and cars and trucks everywhere. It's a bit exhausting. There's a lot of sounds everywhere and
it's super stressful.
It's super stressful. So, but hopefully we can find a place. We're more or less halfway now, I think. So this is the Mr. Ship It sign. Do you think it looks promising? So we asked the woman inside the Mr. Ship It store. Unfortunately they couldn't print or copy for us there, but she gave us a tip where we could do it. It's a store called Bus. It's very close to like food store place, so we go back and check it out.
Great success, super easy and actually pretty cheap. We paid $8 for all the documents we needed, so that was a lot quicker and a lot better than expected. I thought we were going to have to walk around like asking in hotels and marinas all day, but this worked out perfect. So now we do some groceries and head back to the boat for a quick stop.
Finally some fresh shit. Woo.
Crazy food store, and they're like Visa card readers, they just stopped working just as we were going to pay. So it was completely chaos in all the cash desks. and
An adventure.
An adventure. Luckily, we had enough cash to actually pay for the food. But yeah, we're heading back now and trying to find a more calm road to walk at with not so many cars, so we can eat our ice cream at peace.
Nice.
Yes, always bring a spoon so you can buy ice cream at the stores. It's been a very long time since we bought fresh food. I think it's been 3 weeks of cruising in the Exumas with no fresh food, and I think we ran out of like cheese and veggies and fruits like probably 2 weeks ago. So this was really nice. We have the bags full, and now we can make for another 1-2 weeks or something like that. We made it back! Yay!
Now I have dropped off all the groceries, and since it was so ridiculously expensive to leave the dinghy here, we thought, yeah, why not just take this day to explore and check out where the embassy is also. So we're leaving Linnea again and walking to the embassy to check the way there, because when we will go there on Friday, we cannot bring our cell phones or anything else, so we really know how to find this place. So we're getting in the dinghy again and going back to shore.
There's a lot of rain clouds around, and according to the forecast it should start to rain in about 3 hours. So we really hope we can make it back and forth before it starts to pour down. Okay, so since it says no electronic devices, we are not really sure if we can have our watches on or not, which means that we won't know the time. We won't have a map and we won't know the time. Typical digital age persons. But I'm going to start a stopwatch to see how long time it actually takes to walk there, so that we know that we should get in time if we start at the right time here at the marina. So, yeah. Ready, set, go! It's a good thing we have a map today. Otherwise, I would think that we were going in the wrong direction. It feels like we are heading into more and more shady places. And if I didn't know, that's not where I would be headed if I was going to an embassy. But it's supposed to be down this road, so we are walking. As soon as we got close to the cruise ship terminals, the whole city changes. It's like a nice tiled pavements and a lot more luxury stores.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like just like 1 minute walk from one part to the other. So
the buildings are nice and tidy and colorful, and it looks really good here.
Yeah, they're like whole buildings as well.
Yeah.
No holes in the roofs or the walls. And okay, so this is the nice part of town. I'm just in shock. We haven't seen places like this since, I don't know.
St. Bart's?
Okay, St. Bart's was a little bit like this, but
Yeah.
not even close. St. Bart's was a bit tactful about all the high-end stores, but this is just like
Ridiculous.
watches and jewelry, diamonds, Like it's just everywhere.
Everything is like set up for this cruise ship thing. Yeah, I think they spend a lot of money. They
Yes.
must do, because oh, it's crazy.
We found the embassy. Super easy. You just have to turn left by McDonald's. Otherwise, it's just straight all the way, and it was 27 minutes. So
Better than I expected, actually.
yeah,
Yeah,
and a lot easier to walk here.
it was really.
So yeah, now we're heading back. It started to rain, so we're going to pack down the camera and head back.
Yeah.
See you back at the boat.
Bye.
We made it back without too much rain. It was just a light drizzle, and now the sun is setting. It's kind of a cool scenery here with the Atlantis behind us, but it's a very industrial city. This it's like cruise ships and mega yachts and a mixture of like barges and really old boats that looks like they're going to sink. At least we found out two things with this little evening excursion. The first being that it took a little less than half an hour, and the second was that we actually managed to ask a security guard whether or not we are allowed to have the watches on or not, and she said no, just leave them. So absolutely no electronics, and I guess we will just have to leave everything here in the boat, which doesn't feel great, but yeah, what to do? It's not us that sets the rules, so we are just going to obey, and hopefully we can get our US visas.
We're going through our papers and what we need for the interview, what papers we need to attach, and so I'm gathering all the information here in the instructions and checking that we have all the papers, the passports and the pictures and all that stuff. So we need a passport, we need this form, we need a confirmation page, family ties, there's there.
So apart from the documents that you just print that they require, we also made a route planning spreadsheet. Don't know if they need that, but we thought it would be good to show how we plan to travel in the US. And we also did like a budget for our time in the US, so that they know that we have money and a plan on how we're going to provide for ourselves. So yeah, we have some other documents from Sweden, like the register proof of our company. Yeah, we even have our degrees from the university. So it's a bit unclear what they actually require, but we thought we rather have too much than be standing there and not be able to provide proof of how we have thought this to work out. So we have like all these papers. But I definitely think this should be enough to prove that we are planning to leave and that we have money to stay in the US for 3 months. So fingers crossed for tomorrow. It's a very rainy day today, so we're just going to stay on the boat and complete stuff like this for tomorrow. We just came out here to sit and watch the sunset. It's really beautiful, but they say there's a spring break coming up here. So I don't know if that's the reason, but there's so many speedboats passing in like 40 knots just at our side. So it's really bumpy today, but the other nights it has calmed down as soon as it gets dark, so we're kind of hoping for that. It would be nice with some good sleep, because I don't know, we feel a bit nervous about tomorrow. It feels a bit like you're going to have a test that you haven't really prepared for, because you don't really know what the test is about. But yeah, hopefully it's going to be just an easy process in and out, and then by tomorrow lunch we should definitely know if we have if we will get the US visas or not, and then we can start planning our route, if we can do what we dream of, or if we have to make a new plan. But yeah, it feels kind of like a big crossroad here. Like, what do we do if we don't get the visas? And yeah, a lot of stuff going on. Morning guys, we are getting ready to leave the boat. Watch is off. All the papers is in a bag, and we have a disposable water bottle just so that we can leave it there. And all we have to do now is to get in the dinghy and then pay the dinghy fee and walk over to the embassy. Sounds easy peasy, but we won't be able to film anything because we're not allowed cameras, electronics, anything. So the cameras, phones, watches, all stays here, and we see you when we get back, and then we know if we get the visa or not. We made it!
We're back from the visa interview, and we have this yellow paper that means that we can come and collect our passports in 7 to 10 days.
With an approved visa application.
Really happy about that, and I think we had a little bit more paper than you need to, but yeah, better safe than sorry. You don't know, of course.
And the test interview wasn't that hard as we had expected. So all in all, very successful.
They were really friendly and helpful there, so yeah, it was a nice visit to the embassy. I'm really happy for the visas. So now we will come and meet some of you followers here in the east coast of the US when we start cruising to America.
Yes!
So it's time to leave Nassau. It's a bit busy here. As you maybe could hear, it's time for us to leave Nassau. It will take some days before our passports arrive, so we thought better leave this crazy speedboat going around and filthy water place and go to a nice anchorage and wait for the passports there. Probably we will continue our cruise in the Exumas and maybe Elutra before the passports arrive, and we come back to Nassau then. We're sailing dead downwind on a wing on wing. We have a bit less than 20 knots of wind, and it's a really nice sail. The water is just getting clearer and clearer, and yeah, we're just gliding along.
So I think this will be the perfect time to end this episode. We are so stoked that we're heading for the US in just a couple of weeks as soon as we get the passports. And it just feels so good that we have this adventure ahead of us. And we hope that you have enjoyed this rather strange episode, I think. When we do this process, it's a huge step for us, so we thought it would be interesting to see it. And on that note, we hope to see you again next week. And until then, fair winds. But we also get a lot of questions on the reason why we are applying for a visa. It's I think a very common thought that as a Swedish citizen you don't need a visa to visit the US, or at least that the process is not this complicated. So if you're interested in all those more technical details and what we have done and how we have done it, just stick around for a few more minutes and we'll try to explain it real quick. But otherwise, bye! So what we have applied for is the B1, B2 visa for tourists, which allows us to sail into US territory with our own boat and to stay there for 6 months, which for us is a pretty good deal. If something would happen and we would say we would need to leave Linnea in the US and head home to Sweden, the visa allows us to leave the US and then come back, which is something that we feel is very good. But if you're watching this and thinking that you maybe have traveled to the US and it wasn't this complicated, then you probably come from a country like Sweden that's friends of the US, which allows you a bit of an easier process, and you can get a more temporary type of visa form. It's not an actual visa, it's called an ESTA, but to get that you must travel into the US in some kind of commercial way, either like an airplane or like a commercial ferry or something. There are a lot of cruisers doing that in the BVIs and the USVIs. They take the ferry from the BVIs to the USVIs, which is a totally legit way of doing that. Once you have the ESTA, you can go back to the BVIs, get your own boat and travel into the USVIs. But there is a huge but in all of this, and that is that some people say that that only works for the USVIs and Puerto Rico. If you want to go to like mainland US, then some people say that they have been denied if they have done it this way. I don't really know. That's just what we have heard. So given that the ESTA only allows you 3 months in the US, and it's not completely certain that we could actually get in that way, we felt that that was a way too risky way to do this. So that's why we have applied for the visa. Some of you may ask why we didn't do this while we were in Sweden, and there's a very simple explanation, and that is just that the lines to get into an interview was longer than our time in Sweden. So from when we started looking into dates, we could get an interview when we were already back in Trinidad, which wasn't possible. So that's why we booked it here in the Bahamas, in Nassau, and it was just super great. So if you have to do it, we can really recommend this. Yeah, I think that was the short version of why we have applied for the visa, and now we have it. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you watch this these extra minutes, and we hope to see you again next week. So bye.